and welcome to Just One More Watch. Today I'll be videoing a new video about my new Seiko.
Hang on a minute, hang on, excuse me, who are you?
I'm Master X.
And what are you doing?
I'm videoing a new video about my new Seiko.
Might be your new Seiko, son, but it's my channel. I do the intros around here. Hop it! Hop it! The youth of today, no respect for their elders. Yes, that's right, that precocious young whippersnapper was none other than Master X, firstborn son of the mysterious Mr. X. It's coming up to his 10th birthday soon, and his dad thought it would be a perfect opportunity to start him on the inevitable path of watch addiction and bankruptcy that afflicts us all, by getting him his first decent automatic watch. What better gateway drug into this wonderful hobby of ours than a Seiko SKX? Now, he's only 10, so we thought it was better to start with the 013 than the 007 or 009. So that's what I'm going to modify for you today. Now, I've got an SKX 013 and I'm going to perform essentially a similar set of mods to what I've done to my own. Piece of double dome sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating and a LUMED ceramic bezel insert. Got a few different strap options for him here as well. The original Jubilee and a couple of top-notch NATOs. So on that note, a couple of thank yous before I start the mods today. Big thank you to Carlos from LUMED ceramic bezel inserts. He donated the young gentleman a LUMED ceramic bezel insert. Also, thank you to Adrian at Bark and Jack. He sent a couple of his top-notch premium quality NATO straps all the way from UK down here to Australia. They'll be on their way back to the UK with Master X at the weekend. So big thank you to Adrian. If you're not already a subscriber of his channel, I'm sure you probably are. He makes fantastic content. I'll leave a link to his shop, Carlos's shop, and the Bark and Jack channel in the description of the video. Alright, I've got some work to do. Let's flip the camera and get on with it. So a nice fresh Seiko SKX in a box. Not going to need those pesky instructions today. Now, I'm not going to run you through the blow by blow, what tools I used, etc. If you do want to see a more comprehensive set of SKX mods that I did on a 007, including a movement swap and hands, etc., click on the link in the top right corner of the screen. Ooh, we get to peel off a few stickers with this one because it is box fresh. As such, I'm not going to be replacing any of the seals today. It's a brand new watch after all. Look at the glorious jingly jangly Jubilee, but that is the first thing to go. Now, I've got a Bergeon 6767. If you haven't already invested in one of these excellent little spring bar removal tools, then I highly recommend that you do so. They are well worth a couple of dollars. So the head of the watch into one of those slightly frightening industrial bits of plastic that come with the cheap $15 Amazon or eBay watch repair kits. Similarly, this case back removal tool I got on eBay for a couple of bucks, and it is great for about 95%. I've only had to use the 3-pronger on a couple of case backs, I think, since I got it. So the case back off. I'm going to take it out of the movement, unscrew the crown to the first position, which will expose the lever required, push down on the lever and the crown pops straight out. Now, being careful to give the plastic movement holder a bit of a tweak, a couple of taps on the dial and the whole movement, dial, hands, etc. will pop straight out. I'm going to cover that with a Chinese bowl so that I don't get any dust on the movement. That goes to one side. It will reappear later on. So masking up one corner with an SKX because of the crown at the 4 o'clock, I find that bottom right corner is always the best one. Get that case back removal tool in there, give it a waggle, give it another waggle, give it a squeeze, and eventually it will pop. Come on, there we are. It pops straight off. No problems at all there. I'll peel off all that masking tape in due course. Don't forget the spring clip. You're going to need that if you want the bezel to rotate with the new insert in it. So, crystal press. I have chosen a couple of dies, one to hold the case and one to push evenly on the crystal. You're going to push the crystal out the top of the case, kind of out away from the dial. One nice, slightly disconcerting crack. You always think you've broken it, but you haven't, and it comes straight out. Now the gloves go on at this point. I'm about to open the new crystal and I don't want to get sticky finger marks. There we are, the crystal gasket. Nice and fresh. That one can be transferred straight from the Hardlex to the sapphire. So the new crystal. Mr. X actually bought a piece of flat sapphire crystal. So flat sapphire with blue anti-reflective undercoating. That one is going to go in. It's a like-for-like replacement with the Hardlex. No problems at all. I'm going to seat that crystal gasket inside the case and then just gently press the crystal in by hand. Just making sure that it is even before I then line it up with the crystal press there. Again, this one you get a very disconcerting crack when you apply enough pressure. So again, I've swapped the dies over this time just to ensure an even amount of pressure is on the piece of sapphire as I press down.
Give it a squeeze, give it a squeeze. You will see in a couple of seconds here that the screen will shake rather disconcertingly. You always think that you've smashed the crystal, but you haven't. It just means that it's gone in perfectly. Watch for the wobble, and boom, there we are. This one nice and seated in position. Zoom in to reveal. Crystal gasket all nicely seated. The sapphire is in place. Job is therefore a good one. Okay, moving on to the LUMED ceramic bezel insert. Big shout out to Carlos. These things aren't cheap, but if you love your SKX and you're going to keep it long term, I find they're well worth it. I've used these upgrades. I've used the ceramic bezel inserts on all of my SKX upgrades to date. So I get a knife in underneath the old aluminium one, trying not to damage it. If you want to retain that, then do be careful. You can also transfer the LUMED pip over. Goo Gone. Now, they don't sell this in Australia. I had to buy this one on eBay, but I think it's well worth it. Couple of Q-tips, couple of cotton buds, and it cleans up that bezel very nicely indeed. So, returning the spring clip, pushing that back in to ensure the bezel will rotate, putting the bezel just finger tight on top, and I'm going to use the crystal press again, changing the dies just to make sure that you get that nice click so that you know that the bezel has been seated properly in the case. And a quick rotation there confirms that it is clicking nicely, everything going well so far. Alright, I'm going to cheat just a little bit here because of the chapter ring. The rehaut dial is not attached. It's a bit of a nightmare. I'm just going to use a touch of GS Hypo Cement at the 4 points of the compass, north, south, east and west, just to glue the chapter ring to the dial, ensuring that when I drop it into the case, as I'm about to do here, it all lines up beautifully. I've given the case a little bit of a puffer to ensure that there's no dust in there either. Pop it in, insert the crown, and once you screw the crown in, that'll pull the dial into shape. Flip it over and just check that everything looks good before I pop the case back on. There we are. That all looks good to me so far. Nicely aligned, better than it comes out of a Malaysian Seiko factory. So they may be new seals, but I thought I would invest in a couple of dollars worth of oil here. Again, just ensuring that these rubber seals don't dry out and crack with long-term use. I don't imagine Master X will be cracking the back of this one all that often. Perhaps he'll get the modding bug in years to come and want to do some mods on it himself. But that will ensure that that case back gasket is in good shape. Popping that one in there, making sure it is nicely seated, and then the case back goes on, and I'm going to screw that in nice and tight for him. There we are, again making sure that everything lines up and giving it a final tweak in a couple of seconds time. That all looks good. Give it a shake, give it another shake, the old Seiko shuffle, and the movement's spinning away, no problems at all. Alright, finally, it is the ceramic bezel insert. Again, the GS Hypo Cement, I bought this a while ago, well worth the $15 or so that I paid for it. It has become an essential part of my arsenal, my armory, when I am doing watch mods. So squeeze it all the way around. You don't have to go mad with this stuff. It is pretty powerful. LUMED ceramic bezel insert. Pop that one in, making sure that it lines up very nicely, the triangle at 12 with the triangle at 12. Give it a squeeze and it seats perfectly with that. Replacement, OEM replacement sapphire crystal, no compatibility issues today. The whole watch looks pretty good. So you're not going to get a wrist shot today because it's not my watch, but it would be rude of me not to give you a lume shot, especially as we have upgraded that bezel insert to a fully lumed ceramic one. Nice colour match, nice shade of green. You don't get an exact colour match with the Lumi Bright, but it does look pretty good. And it lasts a decent amount of time as well. As I said, not cheap, but highly recommended these if you're going to be keeping your SKX long term. Okay, what do we got next? Some Bark and Jack NATO straps. Look at that. Sealed with wax and a loving kiss, no doubt. Adrian's a little bit posh and his NATO straps are a little bit posh as well. And look at that. What a guy to Master X. Happy birthday, Adrian. And they are very nicely done. Nice stitching throughout. We've got an adjustable fastener there. Great brushed polish and that little Bark and Jack logo. Very classy NATOs. I'm going to put them in the box today. I'm not sure if his wrists are big enough. So what I've done is I've resized the Jubilee. I've taken every available link out of the Jubilee and I'm going to leave it to his dad to size this one up when they get back to the UK next weekend. There's the spare links. What a combination for the young man. I think a great starter watch. SKX modded by his Australian uncle Jody with a couple of top-notch Bark and Jack NATO straps for him to grow into as he develops his watch addiction, which no doubt he will. So there we are, popping them into the box. Straps going in first. Watch going on top of that. We certainly don't need the instruction manual. We can toss that to one side. A lifetime beckons of not reading the instruction manual. Only one thing left to say at the end of the video, and that's...
Thanks for watching, and I can't do it.
She almost got it. I'll see you in the next video.